I've been using OzoSpa for a while now, and I absolutely love it because one of the main reasons is because I know how safe it is compared to some of these other products out there. And we've obviously talked about it, and when I read the labels, I realised how unsafe some of these other mainstream dental products are. So,
Isn't it?
yeah, absolutely. Can you tell us a bit more about that and why OzoSpa is different to what's out there?
Simple statement is we have been and still are in the first world actually today facing global epidemics of tooth decay and gum disease, which are both bacterial infections, and they're both imbalance problems. There's an imbalance going on inside the mouth. And if you watch some of the other videos that we've made, you'll understand more about that, the biofilm and the bacteria and the acid problems and all that. So I'm not going to go into detail now. However, what I'm stating is how come in 2016 we have these global epidemics in first world countries, which are actually not there in so-called third world countries or people who live in primitive societies, and they weren't there, hundreds of years ago. They weren't epidemic. It's got to do with the diet and the bacteria and all these things that go on in our mouths. But what about the things that are supposed to be protecting us? And the numbers are $32 billion a year is the toothpaste, mouth rinse, and dental product market in the world, and it's increasing every year. So $32 billion over the last 50 to 70 years, because they haven't evolved that much really over that time, it's little changes and that's it. How come that's not protecting us from, so we're using this stuff, majority of us are using these things, how come it's not protecting us? How come it's not working? And then the next question is, can we do better? And the answer is, of course we can, and so we should.
Yeah.
And the third question is what you just asked, is it even safe? Well, the answer to that last question, which is actually your first question, I don't have to tell you if it's safe or not, just read the labels. When I decided to stop using all that stuff 13 years ago, because I still had cavities even as a graduate dentist, and I said enough, something's got to change, and I decided not to give it to my daughter, who was a little baby at the time, and now she's 14 and totally decay-free without using any conventional products out there at all. She's using my own products that I've handmade for years now. I realized, well, this is it. We need something that is safe, because everything you put in your mouth, you will ingest into your bloodstream. Whether you swallow it or not, it will go into your blood through your mucosa, under your tongue and all that. It's one of the fastest ways to absorb anything under your tongue. So anything you put in your mouth goes in through. So if it's not safe, and if it says so on the tubes and on the bottles, like a lot of mouth rinse bottles say do not give to children, do not swallow and all these things, a lot of toothpaste, just general conventional toothpastes, it says if swallowed, contact points and center in the US, spit out, do not swallow. Well, if you ask any lady why would she put a cream on her face and how fast she's gonna rinse it after, well, why would I rinse it after? I'm putting it on because it's good for me. So why putting something in your mouth that you must spit out very quickly, and if you do swallow it, contact the poison center? Interesting question. And some of the ingredients that are there that are problematic are, for example, like the sodium fluoride. This one has triclosan, saccharin, that's a sweetener, but we all know that's not good.
Yeah.
A lot of petrochemicals, a lot of weird things. Sodium lauryl sulfate, soap, detergent, that's an irritant to mucosa and to skin. Again, women know exactly what I'm talking about. They wouldn't wash their faces with that stuff, yet we give it to our children, we swallow it every day. And then the abrasives. When you have something that is abrasive, like how often do you use a scrub on your face? Once in a while, but not every day. Why are you using something on your teeth that's highly abrasive, that's insoluble abrasives? And that applies to a lot of natural toothpaste as well. Like this one here that I'm holding in my hand, doesn't matter the brand, it's just very common. This one it says natural, it's actually made in New Zealand, it's good in many ways, but then it still has sodium lauryl sulfate, SLS, detergent. It has calcium carbonate, so it says it contains calcium, which the statement is true, but it's not calcium that's good for teeth, because calcium carbonate is chalk. Chalk does not dissolve in water, it dissolves in acid, and saliva is water. So we need something that dissolves in water, otherwise it becomes an abrasive. So the calcium carbonate here is an abrasive, just like the silica in those other conventional toothpastes. You don't want to use abrasives every day, on your car, on your face, on your teeth, or anything. Especially when you have acid coming in, plus abrasive, the two A's together, they destroy teeth. So no abrasives. If you're going to use something to clean your teeth that has any kind of abrasivity or cleaning effect, it should be soluble, water soluble, like bicarbonate, like xylitol, like calcium glycerol phosphate, which is a soluble form of calcium and phosphate, which is what makes our bones and teeth. That's what we need, and we have to have it dissolvable in water. which is exactly how and why I designed the Ozone Spa oral care system. It's all soluble ingredients, they're all food grade ingredients, they're all safe to ingest, they all have an active effect, so they're natural in source and natural in effect. Big word these days, that natural word. People use it for marketing a lot. Sometimes it's true, sometimes it isn't that true, because everything is natural. Mercury is natural, lead is natural, arsenic is natural. It's found in nature. It doesn't mean we consume them. We know they're not good for us as humans. They have their own uses by humans in industry or whatever, but not in the human body. Same thing here. When you say something is natural, don't tell me the source, tell me the effect as well. Is it natural effect? Does it work with the body or against the body? Like the body or unlike the human body? So with the Ozone Spa, like the powder, for example, it's only 4 ingredients, and literally you can eat it with a spoon because it is food grade. It's food, basically. There's nothing here. You can read all the ingredients and investigate them. Nothing in here is in any way toxic to any human being. Now, this new serum that we have is that powder dissolved in organic coconut oil and organic coconut glycerin.
Okay, can I try some?
Of course, please
Okay.
try some. People are going berserk over this.
It's quite nice.
How good does that taste?
Yeah.
And it's food, so you give this to your kids to brush your teeth with. You put it on your own gums to rejuvenate your mouth, or brush with it instead of the powder, and it's food. Yet it's highly effective against the bad bacteria. It's good for the good bacteria.
Okay.
It's excellent for our skin and our guts. It's good in every way.
Yeah. And what about the
Nothing's
mouthwash?
toxic about
Is that?
Mouth rinse. In my Ozone Spa oral care system, the mouth rinse is the first part that you would use when you're cleaning your mouth. So you'd use the mouth rinse first, and then you'd brush your teeth either with the powder or with the serum. The purpose of the alkaline mouth rinse is exactly that. It's to mimic natural human saliva, which has a pH of 8 to neutralize acids that we keep eating and consuming and producing inside our mouths, because none of us are perfect. I definitely am not. So we all do funny things, hopefully not too often, because we should be aware of what we're eating and consuming and other things that we discussed in other videos about the biofilm and all that. But we all do funny things every now and then. That's natural. The question is, how do we balance back? And the first thing is an alkaline mouth rinse to neutralize the acids in your mouth before you brush your teeth or scrub anything away. And people would think, oh, well, that's normal, isn't it? Mouth rinse is just mouth rinse. Well, not really, because most mouth rinses out there, as I'll show you now. This is here, the Ozone Spa mouth rinse. This is another very common mouth rinse that you'd find in supermarkets, full of alcohol, which by itself is a very bad thing, because
Yeah, I recognise that smell from mouth
it is
rinse,
it's an irritant, it's a skin irritant, increases your chance of oral cancer, shouldn't be given to children, shouldn't be given to anybody really.
Yeah.
So, and then of course it's colored, and if you saw some of my other videos, and you're welcome to watch those of course, when you soak extracted teeth in different colored mouth rinses or colored drinks, you'll see how they stain teeth. They added color in these things. That's another terrible thing. The worst thing about the whole thing though is that it is an acid in itself. And
It's acidic.
all this time we're talking about how bad acid is, and then we're giving you something that is acid. Let me show you exactly what that means. This is liquid pH paper. It's not paper, it's a liquid pH indicator. That's exactly the word. You can't see the squares, they're very clear, so I'll use a bigger one here.
So red is acidic, right?
Red is acidic, orange and yellow still more on the acid side, light blue is neutral,
and green is,
and green, and the more you go, the darker it goes, the more alkaline it is. And we don't want to go extremely alkaline, we want to stop at pH 8, no more than that.
Okay.
So if we put this indicator in this clear alkaline liquid, and you can see it's actually red, but of course as soon as it goes in an alkaline environment, it turns green, as you can see there.
Yeah.
Because the pH of this is balanced to be around 8.
Okay.
7.8 to 8. Now this, which is already green, yet it's an acid in its own self, and anybody can repeat these tests anywhere at home. I mean, this is home science for kids. It's awesome for kids to do these things in school and show them to their friends.
Wow.
Yeah. What was green is now red because it is an acid. So there goes my dissatisfaction with what's out there. And one, does it work? Well, we wouldn't have the epidemics that we still have. Two, is it safe? Well, they say so on the bottles and on the packages. Please read them. And check the ingredients for yourself. None of this is my knowledge. It's well available knowledge. And then you'd ask, so what's the better alternative? And
Yeah.
so I couldn't find a beautiful system. I found a lot of nice products here and there, but each one had a little downfall at some point. There was no system, and there was no congruence and coherence in something that's all good, all safe, and it works in synergy. All the parts of the system work in synergy.
So that's where the Ozo Spa comes in. So where can we get it?
You can get it online, ozospa.com, and there's a lot more information, many more videos on there. You can get it at select pharmacies and select dentists, dental surgeries. It's not a supermarket product. It is made to be for professional care or personal care directly. You can buy it online anytime. And we will soon be selling pH paper, but you can actually buy it anywhere these days. Saliva pH. So if you put in this case, I'm using the dental vitamins, and if you use that within 20 seconds, and then you put a indicator paper in your mouth, it starts to go green immediately.
Yeah.
So it's immediately alkalizing inside your mouth.
Okay.
And that's how you use these vitamins. You actually keep using them all day long to neutralize acids after any meal, after any drink. That is not water, obviously. You don't need to do that after water. Just put one in your mouth. It alkalizes and rebalances all day long. And it's food.
Fantastic.
Thank you.